Many of you have downloaded our heart rate spreadsheet, but you have a lot of questions about what actually denotes aerobic capacity and aerobic training. So let's take a look at this very important training concept. If you're new to our channel, first and foremost, welcome and thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you go into the resource page, you'll find the link actually in our description box below this video here on YouTube. When you go into that resource page area, you're going to see what we refer to as the heart rate spreadsheet. If you look here on the screen, it's simply a device, or rather a resource, that allows you to determine what is your actual, not perceived, but what is your actual aerobic zones. Well, let me rephrase that. When you're looking at the spreadsheet on the screen, what you're going to see is 5 different heart rate zones, from heart rate zone 1 aerobic all the way up to zone 5, which is going to be your anaerobic or lactate tolerance type of intensities. For the sake of this video, where we're going to be focusing exclusively on aerobic capacity, I want you to eyeball zones 1 and 2. Now, when you look at this spreadsheet, there's a couple things that I want you to pay very close attention to. First and foremost, the max heart rate number is going to be assessed specific to the sport that you're using. Whether you're using it for training as a form of cross-training for another sport, if you're swimming, cycling, or running for the sport of motocross, if you're using running as a cross-trainer to enhance your aerobic capacity for any other sport that you might be interested in. Notice that we have a spreadsheet for multiple disciplines. And the reason being is your max heart rate number is going to change based on how much load you put the muscle tissue under. So this is why we encourage you, if you're going to use running as a cross-training, or even if it is your main sport, you have to do a running specific max heart rate assessment. If you're using cycling, using a Concept 2 rower, if you're swimming, I could go through a multitude of different resources that are available. You want to get your max heart rate number, plug that into the top number that you see here on the spreadsheet. Go to your Garmin, grab your 4-week resting heart rate average and plug it in here under your resting heart rate. And then as soon as you hit enter, it auto-populates all 5 of the heart rate zones for zones 1 through 5. Now, once again, I'm going to show you this spreadsheet, and I want you to be very patient, but I want you to, I have an obligation to explain to you, look at the bottom of zone 2, and then notice how it overlaps the top of zone 1. So if you look at the screen here, because this is one of the questions I always get, well, if there's an overlap, does that mean there's an error? No, it's not. No, there isn't, rather. We've programmed it so that there's a plus or minus 2% margin of error already factored into the spreadsheet. Now, when you go and you do your max heart rate assessment, I would recommend that you try to do this assessment every 6 to 8 weeks at the most. That way you're getting an accurate snapshot of your current fitness. You're going and you're pulling your 4-week resting heart rate average, plugging that in. Now you're training with very accurate heart rate zones. But here's the caveat. For the sake of understanding aerobic enhancement, you want to look at the zone 2 top number. And whenever you're training, if your goal is to enhance aerobic capacity, you want to stay below the top end of zone 2. That's something that a lot of people don't realize. As soon as you go above a specific heart rate intensity zone, what you're doing is you're using progressively more and more sugar as the heart rate goes up, and you're using less and less fat as a fuel source. It's what we call an energy matrix. The percentage of carbohydrates or stored sugar known as glycogen, as you take the heart rate up, you're burning more and more stored sugar, and as you bring the heart rate down, you're burning more and more stored fat. So put these together. If you're wanting to enhance aerobic capacity, you want to stay below the top end of zone 2. Your aerobic engine will 100% improve. If you're wanting to drop body fat, you need to know where's that glass ceiling that you do not want to go beyond to make sure that you're maximizing your training efforts. If you're looking at trying to increase your top end speed, what number do you need to get above before your body starts to actually get acclimated to those higher levels of intensity? Those higher levels of intensity are important because of a principle known as the familiarity principle. You've got to teach your body how to deliver enough oxygen, dissipate lactic acid, has to learn how to digest food at that high intensity. It's got to be able to deliver enough water. You can see all all the different elements of the body that have to be engaged to get performance at the high end, but you have to teach yourself how to be very efficient on the low end. That's what we consider aerobic efficiency. So when we're looking here at this aerobic ideology, I wanted to share with you this spreadsheet because it is a very easy to fill in spreadsheet that provides you incredible accuracy on what your current level of fitness is and to maximize current productivity. Once again, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video today. If you haven't liked, subscribed, and turned on your notifications, I would highly encourage you to do so. We do put out a video every day here on YouTube, and I want to make sure that you guys are the first in the YouTube community to be aware of it before anybody else. So thanks again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.